Shalom Israel, we the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under command of General Yohana. This is the Saturday Sabbath service. With that, Imadium, which means to stand. Salakia. Let me make sure everything to Salakia. That Imadium, which means to stand. La Yashrala. Sarwap and Yahakwadon, which means turn and face the east. Do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanabu, Shabashamayim, Kodash, Hayashim, Ka, Yahawah, Malakwaka, Taba'a, Ratazaka, Haya, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Haya, Bashamayim, Nathanawa, Lakom, Call your one, Wasalakna, Kawatna, Wakasalakna, Wakawatinawa, Wala'a, Tabi'ana, Banasa, one, a ball, Hawashana, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Laka, Hamalakwa, Fuhala, Watapa, Rat, La Iwulumium, Amun. In English. Our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors, and lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever, so be it. Prayer for the Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'akashah, Nathanawa. Hakak, Lara Pra'a, Kal Matala, Wakal Madawa, Hakak, Latahar, Hamatazarium, Hakak, Lahakwayo, Hamatim, Hakak, Awakawa, Hatamala, Lagarshan, Ba Shimi Awashat, the water Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahushua, please give us the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out in the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it. The prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua Barak Lanawa Wayasharala Wahabaya Saparium Barak Ba'ashem Yahushua the water Amun. In the English, Yahweh in the name of Yahushua bless us and Israel and the school in the name of Yahushua. Thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a Ayanya Al-Haharya Ma'ayan Yaba'a Izarya Ma'an Yahweh Aisha Shemayim Wa'arataza Al-Yathan Lamawat Regalka Al-Yanawam Shamarka Hana La'a Yanawam Wala'a Yayashan Shalmar Yasharala, Yahweh Shamarka, Yahweh Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamyunka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makara, Yashamar, Apapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Tazaaka, Wabuaka, Maita, Wa'id, Awalam. In English, I will lift up mine eyes into the hills from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He's slacking. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim al-Damayelaka. Alta Karash, wa Alta Shakwat, Al Kayahana, Awayabyaka, Yahama Yawan, Wamashanayaka, Sha'awa, Ra'ash, Imaka, Ya'ariyamwa, Sawad, Wayata Yaitazawa, Alta the Pawanyaka, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Magalia, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasharala, Iwad, Kaya, Nawa Aitazawa, Lab, Yakadwa, Alyaka, Baryat, Ya Karatwa, Ahalya, Adawam, Wa Yashma Aliyam, Mawa'aba, Wahagarium, Gabal wa Amawan wa Amalak Palashat Am Yashabya Tazawar Gamashawar Nalawa Imam Hayawa Zarawa Bunya Labunya Lawat Salah Aisha Lahum Kamadyan Kasiyasaraak Kayabyan Banakal Wayashwan Nashamadwa Ba'ayan Dara Hayawa Daman Ladama Shethamwa Nadayabmawa Kairab Wakazabah Wakazabak Wakatazamana Kaunasa Yakamwa Ashar Amarwa Na Yerasha Lanawa Nawa Alahayam Alahaya Shethamwa Kagogala Kakwash Lapanya Raka Kaash Tabaarya Ira Wakalaba Talahat Haryam Khan Tharadapma Basa Arka Wabasavapaka Tabalahum Mala'a Panyahum Kalawan Wayabakwashwa Shamka Yahawa Yabashwa Yabahawa Ijai Waya Kaparwa Waya Abadwa Waya Daiwa Kaya Ata Shamka Yahawa Labadka Al Yawan Al Kahar Rataza. In the English, keep not thy silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. Ashur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children of Lot, Salah, doing to them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth, make them nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb. Yea, all their princes as Zabat and as Zalmunna, who said, let us take to ourselves the houses of the power and possession. O my power, make them like the wheel, as a stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, and as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name. O Yahweh, let them be confounded in trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shah, wa Mayaka Allah, wa Lahayim, Matazab Yah, Alawap Yahana, Halawapim, Hasaranian, Hakwatazayanin, Hakayayim, wa Hakwathian, Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yashat, the water Amun. In the English, bless you, Yahweh, and Yahweh Shah, and Michael, and the angels, Commander General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. The curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force the riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites, and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Comitatus, gay movement, the lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channels, and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us, and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way or try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues. Cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plague shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahushua, Michael, and Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread through the media throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahushua, thank you always, so be it. Star. Shabian, which means to sit. All right, Shalom, Israel. We the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Start out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under Commander General Yahana. I mean, as we said before, this is the Saturday Sabbath service where we do what your Christian pastors are ill-equipped to do. I mean, your Christian pastors claim to be the biblical authority over blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, yet they don't teach anything out of this Bible. Everything that they teach in the Bible is the direct opposite of what's actually in the Bible. All right. So not only do we teach from the scriptures, not only do we teach what's actually in the Bible, but we go into the language as well, which is what you'll see us do tonight. We'll read the scriptures in the Lashon Kodash or the Hebrew, and then we'll read it in the English and break it down as well. So you get a full 360 scope of what's going on in these scriptures. So unlike your Christian church, I mean, we'll make sure that you don't miss anything. All right. If you got any questions or comments, you can put them in the chat. We'll go ahead and get started. For those of you who are familiar with how we run our Sabbath service, you already know what to do. But for those who aren't familiar, uh, make sure you got Bible Hub downloaded and open on your phone. If you don't have it, just go to your app store, go to look up Bible Hub. It should be a blue app with a blue looks like an open book on the logo. Download that, and then when you open it up, go to the interlinear portion. It should be the last box. Should be 6 boxes. Go to the last one that says interlinear, and it's gonna take you to the uh to the Hebrew, or depending on it, it's gonna take you to the New Testament, which is in Greek. What you want to do is go to the book, chapter, and verse that we're gonna be reading from. And it's gonna take you to that Hebrew portion, and it's gonna have it in the English and in the Hebrew so that you can follow along. We're gonna be in Exodus 23 and 13. We're gonna read the next 49 verses. All right. Salakia. All right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 23 and verse 13 in the Hebrew. Wabakal Ashar Amarthia Aliyakum Tashamarwa Washam Alahayim Athar Yum La'a Ta Zaka Yarwa La'a Yashamai Al Pa Payaka Lakia. Verse 14. 1 second. That's Lakia. Verse 14. Shalash Regalim the Chad the Chag Laya Pa Salakia Bashana 15 Ath Chag Hama Tazawath Shamar Shabai Wa Salakia Yum Yum Akal Ma Tazawath Ka Shor Taza Waya Salakia Taza Wayathka Lama White Lama Wa'id Ta Khadash Ha Salakia Ha Ba Yab Kaya Bawa Ya Taza Ath Mama Tazarium Wa La'a Yara'awa Panya Ra Raya Kwam 16. Wachag ha kwataza yor baka bako warrior ma'im yaka ashore tha wa salaki thaza rai bas salaki bash bashada wa khag ha sap ba taza ath ha shana ba sap ba sapka ath ma I shayaka man ha shada. 17. Shalash pa'im yum bashana ya ra'a call zakawarka call panya ha done ya Yahweh. 18. La'ata zabach al hamataza dum zabachya wala'a yalyun chalab chagya id bakor. 19. Ra'ashya Baka warrior Adam Adamathka Thaba Ya'a Bayath Salaki Yahweh Alahayaka La'a Thaba Shaw Gadia Ba Khalab Amawa. Verse 20. Hana Ankaya Shalach Mala'aka Salaki Mala'ak La Panyaka La Shamarka Badarak Wa Wala Haba Ya Salaki Wala Haba Ya Aka Al Ha Hamakorum Ashore Haka Salakia Hakanthia. Verse 21. Hashamar Mapan Yawa Washamai Bakwawa Al Thamar Bawa Kaya La'a Yasha'a La Pasha'aikum Kaya Shamya Bakwarabwa. 22. Kaya Shamai Tha Shamai Bakwawa Wa I Shayath Call Ashar Dabor Wa Yab Thea Ath Ayab Yaka Wa Tazarthia Ath Tazar Yaka. 23. Kaya Yalak Malakia La Salakia La Panyaka Waha ba Yaaka Al Ha Moria Wa Ha Ha Ya Wa Waha Parazia Waha Kana Anya Ha 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 Salakia Ha Hawya Waha Yaba Wasya Waha Ka Dath Yawa 24. La'a Tasha Tashatak Kawa La Alahaya Hum Wa La'a Ta I Badam Wa La'a Ta I Sha Kama Aisha Yahum Kaya Ha Ras Ta Ha Rasum Washabar Ta Shabar Mataza Bathyahum. Verse 25. Wa I bad wa Batham Ath Yahweh Alahayakum wa Barak Ath Lacha Lachamka wa Ath Mayum Yuka wa Hasartaya Machala Makorabka 26. La'ata Ha Ya Mashakala wa I Kora Ba'a Ratazaka Ath Masapor Yum Yum Amala 27. Ath Taya Ashalach La Panyaka wa Ha Mathia Ath Kal Ha'aim Ashor the Taba'a Baham wa Wanathia Ath Kal Ayabyaka Al Yaka Irap 28. Washalachthia Ath Ha Tazarai La Panyaka wa Garasha Ath Ha Hawaya Ath Ha Kanaanya wa Ath Ha Hathya Mala Panyaka 29. La'a Agarashanwa Salakia Agarashnawa Ma Panyaka Bashana Achath Pan Tahaya Harataza Shama Ma Waraba Ilyaka Hayath Hashada. Verse 30. Ma'ite Garash Noah Mapanyaka Id Shor the Para Wana Khala Ath Harataza. Verse 31. Salaki, verse 31. Wash, Washathia, Af, Ga, Gabalka, Ma, Mayum, Sa, Sarak, Wa'ai, Wa'ai, Yum, Pala, Shakyum, Wa, Ma, Dabar, Id, Hana, Hanahar, Kaya, Af, Athun, Bayad, Bayadkum, Ath, Yashabya, Ha'arataza, Waga, Rashathamwa, Ma Panyaka, verse 32. La'a, Thakarath, Lahum, Wala al Lahayahum, Bariath, 33. La'a Yashabwa, Aratazaka, Pan, Ya Taya Awa, Athun, so like Athka, Laya Kaya, Thaibad Ath, Ala Hayahum, Kaya, Yaha, Ya Haya, Laka, Lama Wakwash. Book of Exodus, chapter 24, verse 1. Wa al Masha Amor Ila al Yahweh Atha wa Run Nadab wa ba ya wa Shabayim Mazakwanya Yasharala Waha Shathach Hawa Yahum Ma Ra Maracha. Verse 2. Wanagash Moshe Labadwa Al Yahweh wa Hum La'a Ya Yagashwa Waha'im La'a Ya'awa I'm Wa. Verse 3. Waya Ba'a Masha Waya Sapar La'im Athkal the Barya Yahweh wa Athkal Ha Mashapat Yum Waya Ein Kal Ha'im Kal Wal Achad Waya Marwa Kal Ha Debaryum Ashar Debar Yahweh Na Aisha. Verse 4. Waya Kathab Masha Athkal Debarya Yahweh Waya Shechem Babakwar Waya Bun Maz Bach Tachat Ha Hahar Washat Yum Ashra Matazaba La Lashan Yum Aishar Shabbatya Yasharala. All right, this is the book of Genesis, or Slack it. Exodus chapter 23 and verse 13 in the English. And in all things that I have said unto you, be circumspect, and make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. 3 times thou shalt keep a feast unto me in the year. Thou shalt keep the feast of unleavened bread. Thou shalt eat unleavened bread 7 days, as I commanded thee, in the time appointed of the month of Abib. For in it thou camest out from Egypt, and none shall appear before me empty. And the feast of harvest, the feast of first fruits of thy labors, which thou hast sown in the field, and the feast of ingathering, which is in the end of the year, when thou hast gathered in thy labors out of the field. 3 times in a year all thy males shall appear before the Lord God. Thou shalt not offer the blood of my sacrifice with leavened bread, neither shall the fat of my sacrifice remain until the morning. The first of the first fruits of thy land of thou shalt bring into the house of the Lord thy God. Thou shalt not seethe a kid in his mother's milk. Behold, I send an angel before thee to keep thee in the way, to bring thee into the place where I prepared. Salakia. Salakia. So what we was Officer Tapazar taught Sabbath service last week. What he was going into was basically Moses was instructing the people. I mean, Moses was put over the children of Israel. I mean, to guide them out of Egypt with the Most High's instructions. Uh, and he was over them with Aaron at his right hand. You know what I mean, when we got into the wilderness, and right now he's giving them further instructions. You know, now that we out of the Salakia. Now that we're out of Egypt and we're in the wilderness. Verse 21, beware of him and obey his voice and provoke him not, for he will not pardon your transgressions, for my name is in him. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, when I will, Salakia. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies, and an adversary unto thine adversaries. For mine angel shall go before thee and bring thee in unto the Amorites and the Hittites and the Perizzites and the Canaanites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. I mean, this is further proof that the Most High is not dealing with everybody. He's not dealing with every nation, and he's always, especially, we've always been against these. The Most High rather has always been against these nations. For our sake. And it says right here that he cut them off. Now, if he's saying right here that these nations are cut off, then God can't love everybody because he's cutting off a nation. He's cutting off these people. And the Christian church will try to tell you, the Christian church will try to make the Most High this soft, effeminate, this soft, effeminate being that just loves everybody and wants everybody to get along. You know what I mean? But the simple fact is that the Most High just cut these people off. He cut these other nations off and separated them from us simply because he didn't choose them. That's really the short story. You know what I mean? That's really the long story short. Simply because he chose the nation of Israel and he didn't choose these other nations. And that's like it says in I believe Romans the 9th chapter. You know what I mean? Is there unrighteousness with God? Because he made a vessel to honor and made a vessel to dishonor, that he chose to love a people and chose to cut another people off. God forbid. You know what I mean? And that's so that's two examples in the Old Testament that we read it right now in the New Testament, in Romans the 9th chapter, where the Most High is not dealing with everybody. And just because your soft and tender heart can't take it, that doesn't make the Most High unrighteous. You just don't understand the Lord. But what we should do is rather just be grateful that the Most High chose us and follow His instructions. Because, like it says here in verse 22, uh, it says, "But if thou shalt indeed obey His voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies and an adversary unto thine adversaries." I mean, be grateful that the Most High chose you and follow His instructions so that He can be an enemy to your enemies. Because believe it or not, you got enemies, like it says in Psalms, the 83rd chapter. You know what I mean, all these nations are confederate against us. That we just read during the Sabbath service, or during the beginning of the Sabbath service. All these nations are confederate against you. You know what I mean? So it would be in our best interest to follow the Most High's instructions so that He can be an enemy to our enemies, because we have many enemies. Hey, shalom, Yahweh Shem Yahushua Barakatah to the you know what I mean, to the trooper that just checked in. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar Latham by Shem Yahushua to the sister. I saw you checking earlier. I mean, Most High in Christ. All right, let's go ahead, keep going. Uh, verse 23: For my angel shall go before thee and bring thee in unto the Amorites, the Hittites, and the Perizzites, and the Canaanites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites, and I will cut them off. Thou shalt not bow down to their gods, nor serve them, nor do after their works, but thou shalt utterly overthrow them and quite break down their images. And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and He shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. So this is, you know what I mean, this is the evidence as well that, you know what I mean, in America you got so-called freedom of religion, right? So us as blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we think that we could just be whatever we want to be. You think you could just try out Buddhism, you could try out Judaism, you can you know what I mean, be a what's the most popular one? A Muslim. You know what I mean? You think that you could just try these things out and be all these different things. And when the Most High said you should not serve their gods. You are not allowed to, just because you love everybody, and that's the danger of loving everybody. You try to love and befriend and, you know what I mean, try to join everybody to yourself. You are only going to make yourself a second class citizen to that other nation. Once you try to love everybody, you inevitably are going to end up serving their gods and trying to be like them and try to dress like them, try to walk and talk like them. And before you know it, you know what I mean? You think you just showing love because you just so tender and kind and loving everybody and all of that. You think that you just, you know what I mean? You just being you know what I mean, a nice guy and a nice woman. You know what I mean? You think that you just being kind by loving and wanting to join yourself to everybody. But if you serve or if you try to join yourself or you try to integrate, you know what I mean, as America has done with blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, when you try to integrate your culture with everybody else's, you end up serving their gods and you end up being a second class citizen to them. And that's how you know what I mean, that's the recipe for captivity right there. And it starts with trying to love everybody. Starts with having white friends. Starts with you having African friends. I mean, it starts with you having Arab friends and calling all these other nations your friend, your brother, your buddy, your pal, and all of that. And it augments into captivity. I mean, you're reading it right here. I know, you know what I mean? I know because a lot of us, we lack foresight. You know what I mean? We think that just trying to love everybody is just a harmless thing, but it always has led to our captivity. You reading it right here. You reading it right here. You see you know what I mean, how we even ended up in Egypt in the first place. You know what I mean? You see you know what I mean, with King Solomon and his strange wives, he ended up serving their gods and building temples and altars to their gods. Every time we join ourselves to another nation, we end up becoming a second class citizen and it leads into captivity. You know what I mean? You see what's happening right now. You know what I mean? You see what's happening right now in America. You try to be a Muslim, you know what I mean? You end up a second class citizen to the Arabs. You know what I mean? You try to be a Christian and serve that white Jesus on that wall, you end up a second class citizen to the white man. You know what I mean, you try to be you see what's his name? The basketball player. Uh I forget what his name is, but Amar Stoudemire. You know what I mean? He practices Judaism, but he's a second class citizen to Amalek, to the so-called Jewish man. I mean, anytime you serve another nation's God, you end up a second class citizen. It always happens like that. And we be so foolish that we think that we special. Like, oh, that can't happen to me. You know what I mean? That's the same thing that that sister thought when she went to that sleepover with all them white women. Then she ended up mysteriously losing her life, and every other white woman at that little party, you know what I mean, mysteriously didn't know what happened to her. That's what happens. That's what happens. You think it's not gonna be you. Everybody thinks that they special, and your white friends are special. You know what I mean? But the Bible always warns us about the dangers of trying to join yourself to another nation. And it always ends like this. It always ends up with us being servants to them. Shalom, Lord of Christ. I see you, sister. I not checking in. Well, yeah, just keep that in mind. All you brothers and sisters that got all these nations, these other nations as your friends, and you hold them dear to you. You can't, like the scriptures say, you can't serve two masters. You can't love one nation of people without hating another people. You love all these other nations, you're gonna end up hating your own people, and that's how it always ends up. You know what I mean? Well, let's go ahead and continue. Where was we at? 25. And ye shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall bless thy bread and thy water, and I will take sickness away from the midst of thee. There shall nothing cast their young, nor be barren in thy land. The number of thy days I will fulfill. I will send my fear before thee, and will destroy all the people who to whom thou shalt come, and I will make all thine enemies turn their backs unto thee. And I will send hornets before thee, which shall drive out the Hivite, the Canaanite, the Hittite from before thee. I will not drive them out from before thee in 1 year, lest the land become desolate, and the beasts of the field multiply against thee. By little and little will I drive them out from before thee, until thou be increased, and inherit the land. And I will set thy bounds from the Red Sea even unto the sea of the Philistines, and from the desert unto the river. For I will deliver the inhabitants of the land into your hand, and thou shalt drive them out before thee. Thou shalt make no covenant with them, nor with their gods. They shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. If thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto thee. All right, this is another warning in verse 33. It says, they shall not dwell in thy land, lest they make thee sin against me. For if thou serve their gods, it will surely be a snare unto thee. You know what I mean, this is, you know what I mean, this is always, like I was saying before, this is always what happens when we try to serve another nation's gods. You know what I mean, when we try to join ourselves to them, when we dwell with them, you know what I mean? It says they shall not dwell in our land. We're not even supposed to be living in the same place. You know what I mean? Because what they call a melting pot in America, that is the recipe of destroying blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. Lest they make thee sin against you. So if you live with these other nations, you live amongst your enemies, they're going to persuade you and make you sin against the Most High God. You know what I mean? Because these nations understand that the Most High God will only be with us if we not sinning against, if we not breaking these laws, statutes, and commandments. These other nations understand that, and they show you that they understand that in Judas the 5th chapter. They show you that they understand exactly what's going to happen if you serve another God or you sin against the Most High God. For if thou serve their God, it will surely be a snare unto me. You know what I mean? You see several examples. You know what I mean? You saw in, you know what I mean? You fast forward, once you get to the book of Judges, you know what I mean? This is a message that's reiterated all through the book of Judges. You know what I mean? Where it starts off with us driving out, or it starts off with us, you know what I mean, going into the land that the Most High is talking about right here. And we actually run into these nations that he mentioned, but we didn't drive them out. And then the Most High was like, all right, I'm gonna leave these nations to prove you. I mean, I'm not gonna drive them out since you didn't drive them out. I'm not gonna drive them out for you. I'm gonna leave them amongst you to prove you to see if you will serve the Most High. I mean, amongst our enemies. And just like it's saying right here in verse 33, that's exactly what we ended up doing. We ended up serving their gods and trying to join ourselves to, I mean, their practices, marrying their strange women and all those different things. And then we ended up in captivity. We ended up in captivity under them. They ended up destroying us. We ended up, I mean, and then the Most High had to appoint a judge over the nation of Israel to get us back right. I mean, and then the Most High got us back right. And then after that judge passed, then we went right back into doing the same exact thing. We was serving their gods and marrying their women and doing all these things that had us destroyed in the first place. And it was just a cycle of us coming out of going into captivity, serving these other nations, ended up in captivity, crying out to the Most High God, and then the Lord having to appoint a judge or a prophet over us to get up out of this captivity. And then we repeated the cycle. We end up joining ourselves to them, marrying a woman, and then ended up in captivity and crying out to the Most High. You know what I mean, that's where we at right now. Where we joined ourselves to our oppressor with integration. You know what I mean, we join ourselves to their religions. We join ourselves. We want to make marriages with them, do their practices and things like that, following their religions. And then, now we at the point where we crying out to the Most High to get us out of the captivity of America. You know what I mean, we crying out to get out of this condition. We crying out to, for our oppressor to just stop slaughtering us in the streets, for them to stop mass incarcerating us. We begging for, for them to stop writing legislation that makes it easier for your oppressor to oppress you. I mean, that's what the stage we're at right now. We're crying out. The Lord willing, we'll have the wisdom to obey the Most High. This time, the things written aforetime are written for our learning. You know what I mean? So we read these scriptures and we see exactly what happened when we disobeyed the Most High. We see how we went into captivity over and over and over again because we want to serve these other nations and make marriages with them. We see what happens when we join ourselves to another nation and how we ended up second and third class citizens to all these other nations. We see that cycle. That's why we read in these scriptures. That's the whole point, so that you can understand your culture and so that you can understand your history and how we got here. So instead of making that mistake and thinking it's gonna be all cool to join yourself to these other nations, you can read these scriptures and be like, nah, I'm not gonna join myself to these nations, to these other nations, because I see what happened in these scriptures and I see what happened to us before and over and over in the past. So we can skip the middleman. We can skip the middleman and trying to find out the hard way. You know what I mean? And just see the results in the scriptures and be like, you know what? I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, and I'm gonna separate myself from these other nations. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna let them tell me the same lie that they've told us in the book of Exodus, in the book of Deuteronomy, in the book of Judges, in the book of in all these other in all these books and all these books in the Bible. You know what I mean? We're not going to fall for the same lie and the same trap that they've done over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Like, Officer Godiwan, he said something heavy. You know what I mean? We able to jump the timeline. We could read these scriptures and have the wisdom, the wisdom of a man who was on the earth thousands of years ago, today. You know what I mean? Where it took him years to get that wisdom, years of experience, years of, you know what I mean, uh, study and things like that to get that wisdom. All you got to do is open his book and you can have it. That's why you see young men, you know what I mean, with so much wisdom. You know what I mean? See young officers and young captains in the ISUPK that's wise beyond their years. It's because you got this. You got these records. But you know what I mean, just reading our records, you'll be able to jump the timeline. You'll be able to jump the timeline and you ain't got to wait 30, 40, 50 years to see the results of serving these other nations unfold against you. You don't have to wait years. You don't have to see you don't have to learn through trial and error. You know what I mean? You could jump the timeline. You could jump straight to the end and skip 50 years. You know what I mean? See, okay, I see how this ends and I'm going to do things the right way. You know what I mean? That's the whole point of these scriptures. We're going to go ahead and read on book of Exodus chapter 24 verse 1. And he said unto Moses, come up unto the Lord, thou and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and 70 of the elders of Israel, and worship ye afar off. And Moses alone shall come near the Lord, but they shall not come nigh, neither shall the people go up with them. And Moses came and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice and said, all the words which the Lord hath said will we do. That's funny because I mean, we did not. I mean, we said we this is a verbal contract right here that we getting into. The most the most high told Moses, and Moses went to the people and told the people all the words of the Lord and all the judgments, and all the people answered with one voice. I mean, we all agreed all the words which the Lord have said we will do. I mean, but we ended up not doing that. So exactly what the Most High said was going to happen if we didn't follow His instructions is exactly what happened because we consented. We said, all right, bet. You know what I mean? The Most High said, do this. If we don't do this, this is going to happen. So I'm going to do all the words of the Lord, which the Lord has said we will do. And then we ended up not doing it, and then boom. You know what I mean? Fast forward to 2025, we in captivity again under every single nation under the sun. Verse 4, and Moses wrote all the words of the Lord and rose up early in the morning and builded an altar unto the hill and 12 pillars according to the 12 tribes of Israel. All right, we're going to go back to the Hebrew, Exodus, the book of Exodus, chapter 24 and verse 5 in the Hebrew. I'd like you 1 second. All right, this is the book of Exodus, chapter 24, verse 5 in the Hebrew. Waya shalak af na'ai na'aria banya yasharala waya alwa Allah waya zabakwa zabakium shalomyum la Yahweh paryum. Verse 6. Laki. Wayakwak Mashah Khatazaya Hadam Wayasham Ba'aganath Salaki Wa Khatazaya Hadam Zarak Al Ha Mazabak. Verse 7. Wayakwak Sapar Habaryath Wayakora Zanya Ha'im Waya Amarwa Kal Ashar Debar Yahweh Na Aisha Wa Na Shamai. Verse 8. Wayakwak Masha Ath Hadam Waya Zarak Al Ha'im Waya Amor Hanadam Habarayath Ashar Karath Yahweh I'm come Al Kal Ha Dabaryum Ha Allah. Verse 9. Waya Al Masha Wa Aharon Nadab Wa Abaya Hawa Wa Shabayim Mazakwanya Yasharala. Verse 10. Waya Ra'awa Ath Ala Haya Yasharala Wa Thachath Ragalayawa Kan Slaki Kamaisha Kama Aisha La Banath Hasa Payor Slaki Waya Ra'awa Ath Slaki Slaki. Bear with me 1 second. Slaki. Wa Slaki Wa Ka I Tazum Ha Sha Mayum Latahar. Verse 11. Wa Al Taza Yalya Bunya Yasharala La'a Shalach Wa Slaki Yadwa Waya Wayaha Wayahazwa Ath Ha Alahayim Waya Akawa Wayashathwa. 12. Waya Amar Yahweh Al Mashah Ilah Aliyah Ha Hara Wahaya Shum Ga'a Thana Laka Ath La Lachath Ha Laban Wa Waha Thawara Wa Waha Matazo Wa Ashar Kathabthia Laha Wartham. Verse 13. Waya Quam Masha Waya Hawashai Masha Rathwa Waya Al Masha Al Har Ha Alahayim. Verse 14. Wa Al Ha Zaquanium Amar Shabwa Lanawa Baza Id Ashar Nashawab Al Yakum Wahana Aharon Wathawar Imakum Maya Baal the Barium Yagash Alahum. Verse 15. Wa Ya'al Masha Al Hahar Wa Yakum Ha Ainun Ath Hahar. Verse 16. Wa Ya Shakun Ka Kabawad Yahweh Al Har Sayanaya Waya Kasahawa Ha'ainan Shashath Yum Yum Waya Kora'a Al Mashah Bayawam Shabiyaya Ma the Mathawak Ha'ainan. Verse 17. Wasara'a Kabawad Yahweh Ka'ash Kalath Bara'ash Ahar La'ayanya Banya Yasharala. Verse 18. Waya Ba'a Mashah Ba the Wak Ha'ainan Waya Al Hahar Waya Haya Mashah Bahar Arabayim Ya Yawam Wa Arabayim Salakia Wa Arabayim La Yala. Book of Exodus chapter 25 and 1 in the Hebrew. Waya Dabar Yahweh Al Mashah La Amar Dabar Al Banya Yasharala Waya Kwach Wa Laya Wama Ma'ath Kal Ayash Ashar Ya Yadabunwa Labwa Takwahwa Ath Tharawambia Waza'ath Ha Tharawama Ashar Takwahwa Wa Salakia Ma Thum Zahab Waka Stop Wana Tashath. So like a Wana Hashath. Verse 4. Watha Kalath Wa Lucky Wa Ragamun Watha Walith Shanya Washash Wa'izawum Wa'izayum Salaki. Verse 25 or Salaki verse 5. Wa'irath Yalum Ma Salaki Ma Romyum Wa'irath Khashyum Wa'itazaya Shatayum. Verse 6. Shamun Lama'ar Bashanyum Lashamun Hama Shakha Wala Quatarath Hasamyum. Verse 7. Abunya Sha'a so like a Shaham Abunya Mala'ayim Lapad Wa La Walachashan. Verse 8. Wa'aishawa Laya Makwadash Washa Kanthia Batha Wakum Verse 9. Kakal, Ashar, Anya, Ma, Ra'a, Salakia, Awa, Wa, Atha, Bunyath, Salakia, Hamashakan, Wa, Atha, Bunyath, Bunyath, call Yawa, Wakan, the Aishawa, verse 10. Wa Aishawa, uh, Adu, Adawan, I to the ya, Sha to yum, Ama yum, Wa, Wa, it's like a Wa, Ha to the ya, uh, Arak, Wa, Ama, Wa, Ha to the ya, Raha, Wa, Ama, Wa, Ha to the ya, Wa, Komatwa. So like, the book of, where are we at? Book of Exodus, chapter 24 and verse 5 in the English. And he sent young men of the children of Israel, which offer burnt offerings and sacrifice peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the audience of the people. And they said, all that the Lord hath said we will we do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people, and said, behold, the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. Then went up Moses and Aaron and Nadab and Abihu and 70 of the elders of Israel, and they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet as it were a paved work of a sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel he laid not his hand. And so like it also they saw God and did eat and drink. And the Lord said unto Moses, come up to me unto the mount and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone and a law and commandments which I have written, and thou mayest teach them. And Moses rose up and his minister Joshua. And Salakia, I just wanted to touch on this. When we read this in the Hebrew, the word for Joshua was Yahawashah. I mean, Joshua is Yahawashah, which we know is the real name of Christ, which the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. Jesus is the Greek translation of Yahawashah. The English translation of Yahawashah would be Joshua. So if you, but Yahawashah is Joshua in the Hebrew, right? But Jesus is just a Greek translation. It's just another language, all right? I just don't want that to trip brothers up. Also, a brother asked me yesterday during Lashon Kodash class if Yeshaya and Yahawashah were the same. No. Yeshaya is, I believe, it's a different, I believe it's Josiah. I would have to double check, but it's certainly not the same as Joshua or Yahawashah. All right, I just wanted to clear that up. All right, where's we at? Verse 14, and he said unto the elders, tarry ye here for us. And also, Salakio, just on that point, if you go to the book of Joshua and you read it in the Hebrew, like we got the Torah right here, we got the scroll, right here, which has the Hebrew written on it, the ancient Paleo Hebrew written on the first 5 books of the Bible written in ancient Paleo Hebrew. If you go to the book of Joshua, it's gonna say Yahushua as well. All right. Well, Verse 14, and he said unto the elders, tarry ye here for us until we come again unto you. And behold, Aaron and Hur are with you. If any man have any matters to do, let him come unto them. And Moses went up into the mount, and a cloud covered the mount. And the glory of the Lord abode upon the Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. And the seventh day he called unto Moses out of the midst of the cloud. And the sight of the glory of the Lord was like devour fire on the top of the mount in the eyes of the children of Israel. And Moses went into the midst of the cloud and gat him up into the mount. And Moses was in the mount 40 days and 40 nights. Book of Salak, I keep saying Genesis. Book of Exodus, chapter 25, verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel that they bring me an offering of every man that giveth it willingly with his heart. Ye shall take my offering. And this is the offering which ye shall take of them: gold and silver and brass and blue and purple and scarlet and fine linen and goat's hair and ram skin dyed red and badger skin and shittim wood, oil for the light, spices for anointing oil and for sweet incense, onyx stone and stones to be set in the ephod and the breastplate, and let them make me a sanctuary, but I may dwell among them, according to all that I shewed after the pattern of the tabernacle and the pattern of all the instruments thereof, even so shall ye make it. And they shall make an ark of shittim wood. 2 cubits and a half shall be the length thereof, and a cubit and a half breadth thereof, and a cubit and a half the height thereof. All right, we're gonna stop right there. That's the 49 verses for the day. We'll be picking up next week at Exodus 25th chapter, and starting at the 11th verse, and we're gonna read 49 verses from there. With that, we'll say imadium, which means to stand. La Yasharala. Yahaba Shim Yao Shabrakia. Or Sar Wapan Yahakudon, which means turn to face the east. We're gonna do the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. Abanawa Shabashamayim Kodash Hayashim Ka Yahawah Malak Waka Taba'a Ratazaka Haya Aisha Ba Rataza Kawa Haya Bashamayim. The thunder now lakum call your one wasalak now kawawatna wa kasalak now kawawati now wala tabya now banasaya one abal hawasha now mayan ra kayela ka hamalak wa wahala wa taparat la awlamyum amun. In English, our Father which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Yahweh, thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not to temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever, so be it. The prayer for the Hakak, the power in the Hebrew. Yahweh, Bashim Yahushua, Baba Kasha, Nathananua. Hakak, Hakak la Rapa'a, Kal Makalawa, Kal Madawa, Hakak la Tahar, Hamatazarium, Hakak la Hakwayum, Hamathium, Hakak, Arakawa, Katama Allah, Lagar Shun, Bashim Yawshat, the water Amun. In English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, please give us the power, Salaki, the power to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease, the power to cleanse the lepers, the power to raise the dead, the power against unclean spirits, to cast them out. In the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. The prayer to bless Israel in the Hebrew. Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Barak Lanawa, Wa Yasharala, Wahaba Saparium, Barak Bashim Yahweh, the water Amun. In the English, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah, bless us in Israel and the school. In the name of Yahweh Shah, thank you, so be it. Psalms 121 in the Hebrew. Asha'a, Ayanyan, Ahaharya, Ma'ayan, Yaba'a, Izarya, Izarya, Ma'am, Yahweh, Aisha, Shemayim, Wa'rataza, Al Yatan, Lamawat, Regalka, Al Yanawam, Shemarka, Hanala, Al Yanawam, Wala'a, Yashan, Shalmor, Yasharala, Yahweh, Shemarka, Yahweh, Tazalka, Al Yad, Yamyanka, Yawamam, Hashamash, La'a, Yakaka, Wayarak, Balayala, Yahweh, Yashamarka, Makara, Yashamar, Apnapashka, Yahweh, Yashamar, Taza'aka, Wabu'aka, Maita, Wa'id, Awalam. In English, I'll lift up mine eyes unto the hills from which cometh my help. My help cometh from Yahweh, which made heaven and earth. He will not suffer thy foot to be moved. He that keepeth thee will not slumber. Behold, he that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Yahweh is thy keeper. Yahweh is thy shade upon thy right hand. The sun shall not smite thee by day, nor the moon by night. Yahweh shall preserve thee from all evil. He shall preserve thy soul. Yahweh shall preserve thy going out and thy coming in from this time forth and even forevermore. Psalms 83 in the Hebrew. Alahayim al Damayelika, al Takarash, wa al Tashakwat, al Kayahana, al Yabyaka, Yahama Yawan, Waman Shanayaka, Sha'awa, Ra'ash, al Amaka, Ya'ariyamu, Sawad, wa Yata Yaitazawa, al Tazapawanika, Amarwa, Lakawa, Wanakakidam, Magalia, Wala'a, Yazakar, Sham Yasharala, Iwad, Kaya, Nawa Aitazawa, Lab, Yakadwa, al Yaka, Baryath, Yakaratwa, Ahaya, Adwam, wa Yashama Aliyam, Mawa'aba, wa Hagariam, Lakia. Gabal, wa Amawan, wa Amalak. Halashath, I'm Yashabia, Tazawar, Gamashawar, Nalawa, Imam, Hayawa, Zarawa, Labanya, Lawat, Salah, Aisha, Laham, Kamadyan, Kasaya, Sara'a, Kayabian, Manakal, Kwayashwan, Nashamadwa, Bayan Dara, Hayawa, Daman, La Dama, Shetamwa, Nadayamawa, Kairab, Wakazaba, Salakia, Wakazaba, Wakatazal Manai, Kalnasir Kamwa, Ashar, Amarwa, Nayorasha, Lanawa, Atnawath, Alahayim, Alahaya, Shayatomo, Salaka, Kagogala, Kakwash, Lapanya, Raka, Kaash, Taba Aria Ira, Wakata, Wakalaba, Talahat, Haryam, Khan, Tharadapma, Basa Iraka, Wabasa Wapafka, Tabalahum, Mala'a, Panyahum, Kwalawan, Wayabakwashwa, Shamka, Yahawa, Yabashwa, Wa Yabahawa, Ida wa Yakaparwa, wa Ya Abadwa, wa Yadaiwa, Kaya, Atha, Shemkai, Yahawa, Labatka, Al Yawan, Al Kaharataza. In English, keep not thy silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power, for lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more remembrance, for they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee, the tabernacles of Edom, and the Ishmaelites of Moab, and the Hagarenes, Gabal, and Ammon, and Amalek, the Philistines with the inhabitants of Tyre. The Sur also is joined with them. They have hope in the children a lot. It's a lot. Do unto them as unto the Midianites, as to Sisera, as to Jabin, at the brook of Kison, which perished at Endor. They became as dung for the earth. Make their nobles like Oreb, and like Zeeb, yea, all the princes as Zabat and as Zomuna, who said, let us take to ourselves the house of power and possession. O my power, make them like the wheel, as the stubble before the wind, as the fire burneth the wood, as the flame setteth the mountains on fire. So persecute them with thy tempest, and make them afraid with thy storm. Fill their faces with shame, that they may seek thy name, O Yahweh. Let them be confounded in the trouble forever. Yea, let them be put to shame and perish, that men may know that thou, whose name alone is Yahweh, art the most high over all the earth. Prayer for the blessings in the Hebrew. Barakatah Yahweh, wa Yahweh Shah, wa Mayaka Allah, wa Alahayim, Matazab Yah, Alawap Yahana, ha Lawapyum, ha Saranyan, ha Quatazayanyan, ha Kayayoyum, wa ha Quathian, Yahweh, ba Shim Yahweh Shah, the water among. In English, bless you Yahweh and Yahweh Shah and Michael and the angels, Commander General Yahana, the generals, the captains, the officers, the troopers, and the sisters, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, shall thank you, so be it. The curses. Blessed are you, Yahweh, King of heaven and earth, and all things living. Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh, shall listen to us now, right now. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen that speak against us, thy prophets, the teachers, the princes, the priests, the Israelite brothers, and the school. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the heathen, and shake loose the treasure of the rich of Israel that refuse to give to the school. Force their riches to enter into thy sanctuary. Send evils and curses and punishment and destruction to the Edomites and the nations and their drug dealers, the court system, the prison system, Planned Parenthood, all the governments of our enemies, Amalek synagogues and armies, Roman Catholic Church, the Pope, Islam, Christianity, Egyptology, militia, Ku Klux Klan, Aryan Nation, skinheads, Posse Kamikaze, gay movement, lesbian movement, spies, workers of witchcraft, NASA space program, Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Space Force, Wall Street. Open up the internet and the airwaves, the cable access channel and the radio channels. Convict the spirit of any of thy people that seek to stop us and bring swift destruction to all the heathen that stand in the way and try to stop us from broadcasting your words throughout the planet Earth. Let loose all the plagues, cause them to go to and fro through the earth and consume them. Let the plagues shake the house of the thief and the murderer. Let Yahweh, Michael, Gabriel come down with the flying saucers and punish all the heathen that come up against us as we speak thy word. Cause it to be known by all that is the angels that have done it. Cause it to be spread throughout the media, throughout the whole world. Cause them to shake at thy coming. In the name of Yahweh, I thank you always, so be it. Star, turn. We do a courtesy salute to the brothers. Visual Majum Shabbat. Imajim, Marat. Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakathom. Yajim Matah, Sar. Return to face the sisters, Imajim. We'll do a courtesy salute to the sisters. Visual Majum Shabbat. Imajim, Marat. Yahweh Shamar Latham Bashim Yahweh Shai. Yajim Matah. Dismissed.